YouTube. I like to talk about juveniles in the prison system. Before I do, if you're new here, subscribe, like this video, and share it. Anyway, on this other platform, Quora, I was told that juveniles are never sent to adult institutions, and that's not true, at least not in Missouri. In Missouri, I've seen people certified as adults. I've seen, I went when I was 17, and but I've seen 15-year-olds certified as adults and sent to adult prisons. Other states may not send juveniles to adult institutions, but they do in Missouri, and they love handing out life sentences in Missouri. And many with life without. But recently, the Supreme Court ruled that it was unconstitutional or whatever to give the juveniles life without. So a lot of them are getting chances now to go back up for parole. Some of them I know. A lot of people may think, well, they committed heinous crimes, horrible crimes, they don't deserve to be out. But what people got to realize is that most people only commit murder once. I've seen this one guy, I ain't gonna say his real name. He got life without, and when he first came to prison, he was just off the chain. No, he was racist. His thought process was just, it was worse than the racist part. You know, he said some things that was, I mean, nobody would think of saying, you know. But over the years, I saw him change. You know, I saw him for a few years when I was at the Walls, MSP. And then I didn't see him for a while. And when I did see him, I saw this little bit of change in him. The last time I saw him was at South Central Correctional Center, and he was a completely different person. I mean, from the teenager that I knew, you know. And I asked him about that, and he says, you know, I didn't even really notice I was changing. And he was, well, I knew I was changing in my thought process and some things, you know, and the way I believed. He said, but I really didn't notice all the changes that was happening to me. And then he said, then one day I looked back to when I was 17, 18 years old, and I was thinking, wow. He said, I could not believe I thought like that. Anyway, he got a date, and he's getting out. And I personally think he'll do good. He's going to be 50-some years old. It's going to be hard for him to get a job, all this and that, but he's got a chance. And I hope the best for him. Then there's this other guy. This is a friend of mine, and I can mention his name. His name is Robert Proud. We just call him Rob. And he's got a chance. he hasn't went up for parole yet, but he's kind of hopeful for, that he's going to get a date. He's also kind of nervous, but he's hopeful because all these other people are that had life without, are going up for parole and getting dates. But he's kind of, he said, watch, I'll be the one that they deny, I don't think they will. But I told him, I said, here's what you do, I said, hope for the best and expect the worst, I said, don't just assume you're going to get a date, but a lot of these guys, that they went to prison the same time I did, around the same time I did, and some, some years later, but most of them around the time so I watched them grow up pretty much, as they watched me grow up. I didn't have life without, I had life with possibility of parole, and it was people that, people said, what kept you going? There's people like Rob Proud, and there's people like John Evans. By the way, John Evans, if you're watching this, I want to thank you for coming by the other day. That made my day, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I mean, it was so good seeing you again. And but it's like people like Rob Proud, John Evans, Phil Baldwin, Kevin, Bird's out too, and he's doing good. And so far, all the ones that I really hung around with, they're doing good, and I'm happy to hear it. I'm happy that I was able to be around people that I was pretty positive was going to do good when they got out. And but there's so many people in it, and it's all across America, juveniles life without, because the thinking in the late 80s, early 90s was, these people committed bad crimes, they can't be changed, just give them life without, give them a life sentence, teach them a lesson. They're not going to change. But I've seen so many of them change. I mean, it's crazy. When I look back on it and I think about all these people, they did a complete turnaround. And some people said, well, they changed because the law changed and they knew they had a chance. No. These people were changing before this even came into effect, before they even knew they had a chance for parole. And I remember the one guy I was telling you about, when this law was changed, and everybody was kind of getting their hopes up. You get your hopes up, but you're like, yeah, whatever. Well, he had to go up for parole. And Rob tells me that when he got a date, the guy was just completely shocked. So, I'm glad to see these people getting out and change. I want to be honest with you, there's some in prison that haven't changed, and it's not just the juveniles that went to prison, it's others. So they ain't gonna make it. They're gonna come out here and do something else, you know, or you can just tell they haven't changed. But many have changed, and I just want people to know that, you know. And many people are, and many of them are remorseful. You know, I mean, they feel bad. When they first came to prison, not too many of them felt bad, you know. But I don't know. As they got older, I guess they got to thinking about it and decided to, you know, got feeling bad about it. Anyway, that's what I got for you today. Thank you for watching. Like I said, hit that like, share, and subscribe if you're new. See you next time.